What's going on, guys? Armand here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking what's in my camera bag. These are my favorite kind of videos, and I know a lot of people out there also like to see what's in other photographers' camera bags. And today we're talking specifically for travel and landscape photography. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start with the actual camera bag itself. This is a Shimoda Action X50. I've used just about every camera bag on the market you can imagine, and this one has been my absolute favorite so far. It holds a ton of gear, and it has a really cool internal core unit system where you can mix and match how much storage is in the bag. Like if you want to bring less gear, you can use a smaller core unit, or if you want to bring more gear, you bring a bigger core unit. And it's just really customizable, and so far I really like this bag. So something I really like about this bag is the actual material it's made out of. I wouldn't say it's completely weatherproof or waterproof, but it does a really good job of keeping all the rain out, and it's easy to clean if you do get it in the sand or the mud or whatever, which I've been in many times. And I mean, for the amount of traveling I've done with this bag, I think it's held up really well. There aren't any noticeable tears or rips or blemishes or anything. So far, absolute seal of approval on this bag. I really like it. Okay, so on the inside of the bag, I have the MacBook Pro M1 Max 2021. I did a performance test video on this if you check my channel, and this thing is an absolute beast. It's my favorite laptop. Color accurate display, extremely fast, handles pretty much anything you can throw at it. And yeah, this is my go-to laptop. Okay, so inside the bag, this is the core unit system I was telling you about. You can see this whole area right here is removable, and they have smaller ones that go up to here, or up to here or whatever. Completely customizable. So my main body for shooting landscapes, video, time lapses, whatever, basically shoot everything on it, is the Sony A1. I absolutely love this camera. I also did a video review of this on my channel if you guys want to check that out. I've had this for about 6 months now. I love it. It's my favorite camera I've ever used. It's like a A9 combined with an A7S and an A7R4, not as many megapixels though. And on it, I have the Really Right Stuff L bracket, and I pretty much use Really Right Stuff L brackets on all my camera bodies, at least my main shooting bodies. The Sony bodies aren't as tall as like a normal DSLR might be, so that extra grip like at the bottom really helps, in my opinion. They're also just really well built, and yeah, there's even a little battle scar right here from when I dropped it, and it protected the body, which is another reason I really like L brackets, is because they protect the body. And I guess like the general purpose of using an L bracket is so that you can shoot vertically when you're shooting landscapes. And attached to the A1, I have the 24-70 2.8 G Master lens. All my lenses are G Master because they're weather sealed, and it's just the proprietary Sony lens, which is what I personally prefer, because when I travel, there's no do-overs, there's no second chances. So I just want best of the best, and I just want to know that when I'm out there shooting, that all of my lenses are going to work properly. So I've had this since I switched to Sony in 2018, and no issues with it. It's been in the rain a ton of times. Fast focus, it's a sharp lens, just the standard workhorse lens. I love it. Pretty much one of my main go-to lenses. Okay, so my second lens is the Sony G Master 100-400. This doesn't come with me on every single trip just because of how big and heavy it is, and it does take up a lot of space, unfortunately, because this is actually one of my favorite lenses. It's super sharp, super fast focusing, also weather sealed, which I really like. Attached to it, I have an Arca Swiss tripod mount. That way I can just directly attach it to whatever tripod I'm using. That way I don't have to deal with extra tripod plates or anything like that. So this will sit here and the body will go back here, and that way it also evenly distributes the weight. So yeah, that's my favorite telephoto lens. I always go with the 100-400 over the 70-200. because when you're shooting landscapes, you don't really need to worry about the f-stop much, because most of the time you're shooting pretty close down anyways, like f8, f11, f13, whatever. So it's just more worth it to get the extra range out of the 100 to 400. So in these two slots right here, I use the A7SIII with the 16 to 35 2.8 G Master and the deity D4 Duo mic. That's what I use for all my vlogging, all my videos. It's a really solid combo. I also use the A7SIII a lot for time lapses, just because the pixel count is only 12 megapixels, which ends up being about 4K resolution file. It's really all you need for time lapses, so that's great. And it has so many awesome video specs like 4K 10-bit 422, S-Log3, and if you use an Atomos Ninja V, then you can get ProRes RAW. So overall, I really like the A7SIII. That's what I'm shooting this video on right now. Okay, so in the top pouch here, I have the new DJI RC Pro controller, and I really didn't want to have to buy a second controller for my Mavic 3, but you know, that's just how it is, I guess, with the Mavic 3. The transmission or something with the old RC remote wasn't compatible with the Mavic 3, so everybody had to go buy a new one. Not happy about it, but it works fine. The quality of the display is great, and you know, it works as intended. Okay. And under that is the DJI Mavic 3. Overall, loving this drone. The image quality is fantastic. If you guys watched my other videos, you'll know there was definitely some problems with this thing. But all the problems have been fixed, aside from acquiring satellites kind of slow, unfortunately, but the actual image quality itself coming out of the drone is really great, so it kind of makes up for those problems. Luckily, they released it in the wintertime, so there wasn't really too much flying for me to do anyways. So it is what it is, but overall, really love this drone. Looking forward to using it quite a bit in the spring and summertime. So I don't bring a drone on every trip I go on. If I'm going to national parks only, I won't bring it, or sometimes overseas they don't really allow drones, so that's kind of a bummer, so I won't bring it on those kind of trips. I want to say the drone actually only comes with me on about half of my trips. Like Asia has like some restrictions around their cities, Europe has weird restrictions, so it's just kind of situational depending on where I go, but if I can bring it, I absolutely do. Okay, so in front of that, I use the Peter McKinnon Nomadic filter holder case, and inside of it, I use Polar Pro filters. These are my absolute favorite filters. I have a normal circular polarizer, a 3-stop ND circular polarizer combo, a 6-stop ND circular polarizer combo, and a 10-stop ND circular polarizer combo. That was a lot. And behind that, I have an extra UV filter just in case one breaks on a trip, and attached to that is a step-down ring. And on the other one, I think this is also a 3-stop ND circular polarizer combo. This one has a little scratch on it and I got it replaced, so I still have that. And also another step-down ring attached to that as well, just in case I want to use it with some of my other lenses like the 85 or the 24 millimeter. And yeah, overall, favorite filters, highly recommend Polar Pro. My number one thing I like about Polar Pro is that they're all color neutral. I've used a lot of other filter brands and some of them go way green shift or way magenta shift, or even like a blue shift, like really cold color temperature for some reason. And these are right dead in the center, super color neutral. Absolutely love them and highly recommend. All right, so in my front pocket, I have extra batteries. Carry 2 of these with me. These are just little cases for the batteries, and these are just the standard Sony batteries. And yes, these are the name brand ones from Sony. I would honestly not trust third-party batteries with any of the Sony cameras. I know Canon was having this issue where cameras were malfunctioning because of third-party batteries. I don't know if it's still like that. And it was voiding the warranty on the cameras if the camera got damaged from one of the batteries. So I just like to buy the Sony name brand ones, you know, just to be safe. So I usually carry 2 of these with me on my trips, sometimes more if I'm going somewhere really cold. And yeah, nothing too special there. Okay, so next to that is just a little SD card holder for, well, SD cards. Yeah, I don't have any of the extra CF Express cards for the A1 or the A7S just because of how crazy expensive they are. Eventually, I think I will add some, but for now, just extra SD cards because I have them. Okay, and lastly, a lot of people don't carry these or buy them, but this is an absolute lifesaver. This is a lens coat raincoat. If you watch the Cape Disappointment vlog, I use this on my camera. I bring this on all my trips. And basically what it does is it goes over your camera and your tripod. And it basically keeps all the rain or snow or whatever off. They dry off really easily. And they're pretty inexpensive. So that's something I recommend for all photographers. If you're serious about photography, this will save your camera, even though the lenses and the body and all that are weatherproof, rainproof, whatever. I still recommend carrying one of these just in case, because I mean, you don't want your camera and lens to get covered in water. Like, why not? Okay, so for my 2 tripods, this is pretty much the one I bring on all of my trips now, which is the Really Right Stuff Ascend tripod. I really love Really Right Stuff tripods because it's just the perfect height to weight ratio when it comes to tripods. If you look at a lot of travel tripods, they might be shorter, so they're more compact, but they're not as stable. These are both extremely stable, especially this bigger one, but for a travel tripod, this is the best. This is the compact version of the Ascend tripod. They make one that's like a little bit longer, but I figured because I had this, I just wanted something that was much smaller. With any Really Right Stuff tripod, you get premium build quality. It's almost like the Lamborghini of tripods, in my opinion. I know Gitzo makes really awesome tripods and the Peak Design tripod is great and all that, but in my opinion, if you try one of these, there's no going back to other tripods. I do have another tripod I bring with me only to the beach. That's an enduro tripod, but the leg joints, they're full of sand and salt water, and it's like the beach only tripod. So these go with me all over the place. This one, not as much. This is a TFC 24L with the BH40 ball head. I love the combo. And of course on both of them, I use the lever clamp just because it's easier. I like it more than the twist locks personally, but yeah, absolute favorite tripod. And I have a lens coat leg wrap, I think it's called, in the camo. Love camo, obviously. I have 2 more of these for the other legs, and this is really great for winter time. Like when it's early in the morning or super cold out and you just need to like grab your tripod, this kind of helps because of the carbon fiber, or if you have an aluminum tripod, whatever, like it does get really cold out there. So these help, and they make them in all different sizes for all tripods. They just Velcro on and off. So yeah, tripod accessories go up here in this little accessory thing. Really Right Stuff makes a micro ball head, which I have right here. So this will just screw in there and put accessories on there. It's pretty cool. I bought it because I wanted to put my main photo body up here and then my A7S III up here, like attached with an L bracket. That didn't work out too well, but for other accessories like the Atomos Ninja V monitor, or maybe like an external mic, or you know, something like that, you can put up here. So it's pretty versatile. that is what is in my main camera bag. This is pretty much the setup I bring for, I want to say 80% of trips. No two trips are exactly the same. Some trips I bring more, some trips I bring less. I have a couple honorable gear mentions that I do want to include as well. Okay, so honorable gear mentions. I have the Sony G Master 14mm 1.8 and the 24mm 1.4 G Master as well. And I only bring these out if I'm doing astrophotography. And the 14mm can be great in some situations, but you can't screw filters on the front, so it's usually not worth bringing over the 16 to 35. Also, 14mm is crazy wide, but it's awesome for astrophotography. So yeah, that's what's in my camera bag. That's what I bring on trips. Let me know what you guys think, if there's anything I should add to my camera bag, or if there's something you found helpful in this video. Like I said, no two trips are exactly the same, and it just kind of varies on what I bring. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe if you aren't, and I will see you guys very soon.